Your legs are fine in the morning. You wake up and they look normal. You put on your shoes and they fit. But by 3 in the afternoon something has changed. Your ankles are puffy. Your socks are leaving marks on your skin. Your shoes feel tight. You press a finger into your lower ankle and the dent stays there for 3 to 5 seconds before it slowly fills back in. You have been told to drink less water. You have been told to elevate your legs. You have been told it is just from standing too long or sitting too much or getting older. This video is for people with chronic bilateral swelling, both legs, that builds through the day and deflates overnight. If that is you, keep watching. Now, what is actually happening inside a swollen leg? Your blood vessels, specifically the capillaries, are leaking fluid. Under normal circumstances, the pressure inside the capillary and the protein content of your blood work together to keep fluid inside the vessel. When either of those two systems fails, fluid escapes into the surrounding tissue. It collects. It pools. Gravity pulls it down into your ankles and feet. And by evening your legs look like they belong to a different person. There are 4 specific mechanisms that cause this in people who are metabolically unwell, and most people with daily leg swelling have 2 or 3 of these operating simultaneously. Mechanism 1. Insulin resistance and glycation. We covered insulin resistance in detail earlier in this series. When insulin resistance is present, blood sugar runs chronically elevated. High blood sugar causes a process called glycation, sugar molecules permanently attached to proteins in the blood including albumin, the primary protein that keeps fluid inside blood vessels. Glycated albumin loses its ability to hold fluid inside the capillary. The fluid escapes. It pools in the tissue. Your legs swell. This is not a leg problem. This is a blood sugar problem. And it is operating silently in over 100 million Americans right now. Mechanism 2. Low albumin from liver dysfunction. Albumin is produced exclusively by the liver. We covered liver dysfunction in the first series of these videos. When the liver is under metabolic stress, fatty liver, inflammation, chronic toxic load, albumin production drops. Less albumin in the blood means less osmotic pressure inside the vessels. Fluid leaks out. The lower your albumin, the worse the swelling. A standard blood panel checks albumin, but most doctors only flag it when it is critically low. A result of 3.8 grams per deciliter is technically normal, but optimal is 4.5 to 5.0. At 3.8 your fluid retention mechanism is already compromised. You would never know from the report. Mechanism 3. Cortisol and aldosterone. Cortisol, which we covered in detail in this series, drives the production of aldosterone. Aldosterone is a hormone that tells your kidneys to retain sodium. Retained sodium means retained water. Retained water means swollen legs. If your cortisol is chronically elevated, from stress, from poor sleep, from the cortisol belly fat cycle we described, your aldosterone is chronically elevated. Your kidneys are holding on to sodium and water that your body does not need. That excess fluid ends up exactly where gravity puts it. In your ankles. By 4 in the afternoon. Every single day. Mechanism 4. Magnesium deficiency and sodium-potassium pump failure. This is the mechanism that almost nobody talks about, and it explains why so many people with leg swelling do not respond to the standard advice of reducing sodium. Inside every cell in your body there is a pump called the sodium-potassium ATPase pump. This pump uses magnesium as a cofactor to push sodium out of the cell and pull potassium in. It uses 30 to 40% of your body's entire daily energy production just to run continuously. When magnesium is deficient, and 75 to 80% of adults are deficient, these pumps slow down or stop. Sodium accumulates inside and around the cells. Water follows sodium. The tissue swells. No amount of sodium restriction will fix a swelling problem that is caused by pump failure. You are not retaining sodium because you ate too much salt. You are retaining sodium because the pump that removes it is not working. And the pump is not working because you do not have enough magnesium to run it. Did you know that over 80% of people watching this channel are not subscribed? Everything in this series connects. Liver, insulin, cortisol, magnesium. We have covered all of them. And now you can see how every one of those broken systems ends up in your legs by the end of the day. Subscribe right now and you will not miss the next video, which completes the protocol for everything we have discussed. Now the fixes. Fix 1. Address the insulin resistance. Stop eating refined carbohydrates after 2 in the afternoon. The evening carbohydrate load is the primary driver of the blood sugar spike that triggers overnight glycation and next-day swelling. Protein and fat at your evening meal. No bread. No pasta. No rice. No fruit juice. The morning after your first low-carbohydrate evening, check your ankles. The change is visible in 24 hours for most people. Fix 2. Support liver albumin production. 400 to 600 mg of milk thistle daily. 500 mg of N-acetylcysteine daily. Both support liver cell regeneration and albumin synthesis. Do not add these on top of alcohol. Alcohol directly suppresses albumin production and no supplement overcomes that. Fix 3. Reduce aldosterone by lowering cortisol. Everything in the cortisol video applies here. The 60-minute evening shutdown protocol. No screens after 9. No high-intensity exercise after 7 p.m. Ashwagandha 300 to 600 mg with your magnesium at night directly reduces cortisol output from the adrenal glands. Lower cortisol means lower aldosterone. Lower aldosterone means lower sodium retention. Lower sodium retention means less fluid in your legs tomorrow. Fix 4. Restore the sodium-potassium pump with magnesium. 300 to 400 mg of magnesium glycinate, not oxide, not citrate, taken 60 minutes before sleep. The glycinate form has the highest absorption rate and crosses the cellular membrane efficiently. This is not optional for people with leg swelling. It is the most direct intervention available for pump dysfunction. Most people see measurable reduction in ankle swelling within 3 to 5 days of restoring adequate magnesium. Fix 5. Elevate correctly. Most people do this wrong. Elevating your feet on a pillow or ottoman while sitting does almost nothing. For gravity to assist venous return, the entire leg, from ankle to hip, must be above heart level. This means lying flat with your legs propped on 2 to 3 pillows for 20 to 30 minutes in the afternoon. Not sitting with feet up. Lying flat. Legs above heart. For 20 to 30 minutes. Done consistently, combined with the metabolic fixes, this accelerates the response significantly. One final connection. If you have swollen legs every evening and you also wake at 3 a.m., and you also cannot fall asleep easily, and you also feel exhausted after 8 hours of sleep, these are not 4 separate problems. They are 4 symptoms of one broken metabolic system. The magnesium deficiency. The insulin resistance. The cortisol dysregulation. The liver stress. We have now covered every layer of that system in this series. The next video pulls it all together into one complete daily protocol, morning, midday, and evening, the specific sequence that addresses all of these systems simultaneously. Comment below with one word. Write the number of the mechanism you think is your primary driver. 1 for insulin and blood sugar. 2 for liver. 3 for cortisol. 4 for magnesium pump failure. I read every comment. This is general educational content only. Always consult your physician before making changes to your health regimen or supplement routine. See you in the next one.